Right now on 5 on your side at 10, a stand down tonight in the St. Louis Sheriff's squabble. The next steps in a political tug of war.
The January thaw early this year. How long this mild weather lasts and when our first widespread rain since the middle of last month rolls in.
Our top story, a deadly encounter in the drive-thru.
The lady, she died inside the car.
A Metro East convenience store is back open tonight, less than 24 hours after a state trooper shot. State police say troopers were on the hunt for a stolen car. Good evening. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. This all happened late last night, just feet away from East St. Louis High School and their campus. 5 on your side's Brent Solomon is just back from that scene, speaking with store workers who were there when this all went down. Brent?
That's right, guys. Police have just identified the woman who lost her life here. That's 40-year-old Rachel Terrence. Witnesses who saw the violence unfold say it was a tragic end for a customer they're very familiar with. The OG Super Rainbow store transformed into a crime scene late Sunday night as Illinois troopers tried to stop a stolen car.
The police, they shut the whole store down last night. We didn't serve nobody until 10 o'clock.
It was just after 10 p.m. I'm told Rachel Terrence was in the drive-thru. Illinois State Police say as troopers moved in, Terrence put the car in reverse, striking a state squad car.
Hit the police car, hit the police car. Sure. Hit the police car, try to run away,
Investigators say she then headed in the direction of a trooper. That trooper fired his weapon, striking the 40-year-old who lived in Maryville. Store workers believe she was trying to speed away when she pressed.
They was following her. They were blocking her. She's trying to run away, but she was like blocked off.
Troopers say they immediately rendered medical aid until an ambulance arrived, but it wouldn't save her life. She died at the hospital. Workers here at the OG Super Rainbow store tell me that Terrence was a familiar face. They knew her. She would often come in to buy snacks for her young child.
The son, like 4 or 5 years old, he come here buy some snacks, chips,
Witnesses say he was in the car when the shooting happened, along with an adult male passenger who all got out. State police now reviewing the use of deadly force from one of its own.
Nice little lady, It's sad, it's not, it was unnecessary, sure, If you want to shoot someone, shoot a tire at least, It was unnecessary, It unfortunately happened.
The involved officer is currently on administrative leave. We requested an interview with the Illinois State Police tonight. We're told no one was available.
Turning now to our weather impact forecast. It's a mild winter night in St. Louis.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell says this early January thaw is sticking around for a few days.
Hard to believe the temperatures today topped out around 60. 1 year ago today, we were dealing with that snow all across the area, the big storm last January. All right, tonight, no such luck. We are looking at dry roads. We're looking at temperatures that around 50 degrees in many locations, certainly in the metro area, and not falling off that much even in the outlying areas at this point because we are dealing with some clouds rolling in and we have a little bit of a breeze. Now, most of those clouds are high, thin clouds. They're not going to produce any rain. Still 50. South wind at 6 right now. That south wind is what will keep us from dropping too much tonight. We'll start in the 40s tomorrow. And look at this. Low 60s here tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday into Friday, that's when we bring the rain chances back here. We badly need some rain, and it's on the way. We'll time it out in a few minutes.
All right, Scott. Within the last few hours, the Chesterfield City Council approved a plan to allow a family to develop land that's been in their family for nearly 150 years. The family who owns the 22-acre site, known as Westland Acres, descend from a freed slave. They've tried unsuccessfully in the past to develop the land, but now they say they risk losing it because they can't afford to pay $85,000 in unpaid property taxes.
This decision is not simply about land use or development. It is about people, and more specifically, about the Westland families who have carried the weight of this unresolved chapter for more than 50 years.
The family still needs approval from the city of Wildwood since the property now sits in both municipalities.
A setback tonight for a group trying to force a statewide vote on Missouri's new congressional map. The Missouri Secretary of State has thrown out nearly 17,000 pages of signatures collected by the group People Not Politicians. Another 33,000 were approved. That is according to new filings today in the group's lawsuit against the state. It's not clear how many actual signatures were thrown out. A hearing is set for tomorrow.
A reset tonight at St. Louis City Hall After weeks of legal maneuvering over who controls the St. Louis Sheriff's Office, a judge has stepped in and told everyone to slow down.
As lawyers argue over power, authority, and precedent, the city is now pressing pause. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, breaks down what happened today and what it means next.
5 government lawyers and a judge kicked off their first full day back to work in the new year, attempting to clean up last year's mess.
We had an election. We voted somebody who turned out not to be very good.
After the courts moved to expel former Sheriff Alfred Montgomery for abusing his authority last month, the Board of Aldermen rushed to start fielding applications and stand up a special election.
As long as it's an elected position that hires people who work here, then the people of the city should have a voice in who fills that job.
That push is now on pause as a judge persuaded the city aldermen to stand down another 3 weeks. At a Friday press conference,
I'm not looking to broaden the mayor's appointing authority here.
Mayor Kara Spencer said she hoped to lower the temperature in the latest power struggle to spill out into the open at City Hall.
There are cases in the past where the Board of Aldermen did appoint a sheriff. I mean, there is clear precedent there for their position.
Spencer published a 5-page letter showing where she offered and Board President Megan Green accepted a chance to speak up in court.
By bringing the letter forward was an attempt to lay all the cards out on the table, put it in writing, and try to get everybody rowing in the same direction.
Instead, Board President Megan Green released her own letter and timeline, saying her office tried for weeks to work with the mayor and city lawyers before acting on its own. Green says the mayor's decision to go to court forced the board to step in to protect its authority, not to seize power.
I think the Board of Aldermen have standing.
While the mayor says her former colleagues have a point, her actions in court would have the effect of icing them out. So you had the chance to add the Board of Aldermen to that new lawsuit.
Let's unpack a little bit of that.
Why didn't you? Why didn't you include them when you knew they wanted to be included?
Let's unpack a little bit of that, Mark.
While she concedes the board made appointments in the past, now she's in the big chair.
That power resides in the mayor.
City lawyers argue the outside contract attorney working for the Board of Aldermen entered into an agreement that is invalid and unlawful. Are you sure you're getting paid in this case?
No.
Outside the courthouse steps, Attorney Joe Jacobson started giving a bit of a civics lesson.
Our whole structure of our government is a weak mayor system.
He says that matters in cases where the law doesn't clearly give the mayor power to appoint someone.
That power resides in the Board of Aldermen.
In St. Louis, Mark Maxwell, 5 on your side.
What happens next depends on the courts. Until the sheriff's removal is legally final, judges say the rest of the fight is premature.
Just hours ago, ousted Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro and his wife were in a New York courtroom where they pleaded not guilty to narco-terrorism and other charges. The U.S. captured the couple over the weekend in a military raid in Caracas. Today, in court, Maduro claimed he was kidnapped and remains the president of Venezuela. His capture is drawing debate in Washington over the legality of the raid.
No one's also disputing the fact that the overwhelming majority of Americans do not support another failed foreign war.
My appreciation of this entire thing is it was completely authorized by law. It's well within Article 2, and now we're getting our Article 1 briefing exactly on the timetable.
Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in today, acting president.
Tonight, traffic is moving again on I-70 near the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge. A semi rolled over this morning on the eastbound on-ramp. The crash damaged a barrier wall and spilled debris into the highway, including the express lanes. No one was hurt. Tomorrow, students at Jennings Senior High School will return to class from winter break, but they'll do it from home. Today, they picked up their devices to resume virtual learning as crews continue massive repairs from a burst water pipe. School officials say back on December 22nd, up to 8 inches of water flooded the cafeteria, the band room, and hallways.
There was several inches of water standing in this hallway, so all of this flooring is damaged to the point where it has to come up.
The school building is expected to reopen next Monday.
St. Louis students displaced from their classroom after the May 16 tornado returned to their neighborhood schools today. Washington Montessori Elementary, Yateman Little Middle, and Beaumont High reopened this morning. Other schools like Sumner High remain closed due to damage. Officials say the tornado damage cost the district more than $77 million.
The road to the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina has made a stop in St. Louis tonight.
Yeah, the U.S. figure skaters are now Now underway, the junior novice skaters began their two-day competition today at Centene Community Ice Center in Maryland Heights. On Thursday, the skaters hoping to punch their ticket to Italy will begin competing at Enterprise Center. Organizers say it's your best shot at catching Olympic action.
It's so meaningful to our community to be able to host this and be on the road to the Olympic Games. The event touches a large part of our community, and that's a real wonderful thing.
Tickets are still available for all sessions, and we have a link in the As Seen on TV section on KSDK.com.
An Olympic-sized mission.
They are the new patrons of the Renaissance.
The group working to preserve masterpieces from Italy's golden age. A different shot at getting a popular weight loss drug. The new affordable prescription now available.
The next couple of days look good for some outdoor exercise as the mild weather continues, but dust off that umbrella. You're going to need it later this week. We're timing out this next weather system in 7 minutes.
Tonight, flu season is hitting a fever pitch in the United States. New CDC data shows cases spiked more than 7% in 1 week, with severe cases rising too. 45 states, including Missouri and Illinois, are reporting high or very high flu activity. This comes as flu vaccination rates are at their lowest levels since 2019.
A new entry tonight in the diet drug market, and this one doesn't require a needle. Novo Nordisk is now selling its once-daily Wegovy pill in the U.S. The FDA approved the pill last month. The 30-day prescription will cost patients without insurance $149. The injectable version costs $200 more.
Well, tomorrow marks 1 month until the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. In 32 days, thousands of athletes will begin competing in 116 events over the course of 17 days. The Olympic host country of Italy by works of art, from paintings and sculptures to historic buildings and churches.
Tonight, Scott Swan and photojournalist Steve Rhodes introduces us to the Friends of Florence, who help preserve and restore masterpieces in tonight's journey to Italy.
To visit Florence is to wander a gallery without walls.
Every street you might walk down, every church you might enter, the museums, obviously.
The Renaissance was born here and never left.
Each artist was doing something new.
Breathtaking.
Absolute innovation.
Iconic.
Amazing works of art.
Sacred. But not eternal.
The works really are all very old. Many of them have not aged well.
Time really deteriorates works of art.
Fire, floods, and the skin their toll. Even masterpieces can't last forever. Unless someone steps in to help.
Buongiorno. My name is Simonetta Brandolini Dadda. I'm president of Friends of Florence. We basically are here to conserve, protect, safeguard the art and culture, really, of Florence and Tuscany.
Discreetly tucked away in workshops across the city, artisans commissioned by Friends of Florence form the front line in this battle to save history.
We have, luckily in Florence, some of the best restorers in the world.
Un desiderio capire profondamente l'anima dell'artista.
È un bronzo molto antico.
Their work delicate and slow. A single piece can take years to restore. But donors seem to think it's worth the wait and the cost. What What kind of pride do you have in helping with the restoration of this incredibly famous sculpture?
Enormous, infinite. One of the real masterpieces of all time.
In 25 years, Friends of Florence has raised millions of dollars and funded over 450 projects.
They have intervened to make it possible for those of us who live here and who love this city to continue to present these masterpieces to visitors, to new friends, in their most beautiful form. They are the new patrons of the Renaissance.
Just beautiful.
Makes you want to go.
I know. And you can explore more sights and sounds of Olympic host country with our 5+ streaming special. You don't even have to go to Italy. Watch it on demand by searching KSDK in your smart TV's app store.
And of course, 5 on Your Side is your home for the Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. The opening ceremony set for February 6th.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast. And even though it's, we have a warm up, what we really need is rain.
We need rain, and we're going to get some. We haven't had a whole lot. We're 7 inches since July 1st, 7 inches behind the average.
Wow.
That adds up over time. Yeah, so we haven't had a whole lot. We're going to get it on Thursday. In the meantime, it's quiet across the region tonight. We have a few high clouds rolling in. Temperatures are not going to drop maybe another 3 to 5 degrees, and that's about it. That's because the breeze stays up overnight. It's more out of the south right now. It'll turn to the southwest towards daybreak, but not all that strong. Eventually, it turns to the west and gets gusty tomorrow, but temperatures will start out in the 40s, close to 50. We should easily be able to get to 62. And after a few patchy clouds in the morning, it becomes bright. Wednesday, low impact there. It's another nice afternoon in the low 60s. Thursday and Friday, this is where we're talking about our rain, especially as we go through Thursday into Thursday afternoon. Friday, it scatters out. Over the weekend, it tends to. Here's the deal with what's happening at this point. We're relatively quiet now. There's actually a little cool front that's coming through overnight tonight. Doesn't have any impact on us. You see where the big storm is out here, Central California. All that energy swinging in from the Gulf of Alaska. The Pacific coast is where the action is right now. And eventually, this energy pushes our way, and it will be able to tap some moisture from the Gulf. And as it does so, that gives us our best opportunity for rain in a few weeks. So here we are, early on Thursday morning, right after the morning rush hour, the rain chances really start to ramp up. Looks like it's fairly widespread around midday. And then we may shift the axis of the heavier rain north and west of St. Louis, and it becomes more scattered later in the afternoon, heading into the overnight hours. Friday, while there's still a chance for some showers, it looks like the more widespread rain on Friday would be to our south and east. So all day on Thursday, there will be some impacts with the potential wet roads. And of course, that means we're going to need a little extra time in the rain gear, but we don't see it being a huge impact for us at this point. What is good is that we have beneficial rainfall coming from this. We're looking at the Weather Prediction Center's forecast taking us into Saturday, and you notice that band to the north and northwest of St. Louis. That's upwards of an inch or so, and then for the metro area and south, maybe a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. That's still good. We'll definitely take that at this point because it has been so dry. So here you go. 3-4 warm days here. Then we get back to reality as we go into Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, there's still quite a bit of energy that has to swing through the region. So that means we stick with the clouds. We also stick with, on Saturday, the chance for a couple of spritzes, sprinkles, or flurries, just depending on the temperature.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
We're
because it's
talking
getting
60s
yeah.
and then maybe flurries.
Yeah, it is winter time and only around 40 for the high on Sunday, so that's going to feel like January.
Yeah, it is January.
Well, it
after
is,
all.
right. Mm-hmm.
Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, we have it all tonight. Billikens, Blues, figure skating, and a rough day in the NFL for head coaches. We'll be right back.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. FanDuel is now available in Missouri.
The Blues and Blackhawks will battle Wednesday night in Chicago. Chicago is one of the teams the Blues will have to pass to get in. Right now, the middle of the Western Conference is like a kindergarten soccer game. Everybody's all scrunched up. 7 teams separated by 2 points. Now, the guy who had the best day in St. Louis was not Mike Bush, who moved into a plush new office with smells of mahogany with his leather-bound books. It was actually Alexei Toropchenko of the Blues who signed a 2-year deal worth $5 million. And the coach is sure happy having Alexei.
He might only score 7 or 11, but when you get in the playoffs, guys like him, like last year, their line scored more than our other 3 lines did, 5-on-5, because you win with those guys. You need to have skill to get into the playoffs. You need guys like Torpo to win in the playoffs. And because of his penalty killing and his length and his speed, he helps you win every night in the regular season.
The Billikens' regular season has been brilliant, and they will take that 13-1 record to VCU on Wednesday night in the biggest game of the season. Now, the way to greatness is to try to get good at all the things you're not good at. Mask those weaknesses. So the Billikens are really good at scoring. As we speak, they are 4th in the country, averaging 94 points per game. But for them to win Wednesday night, they will have to defend. For them to make the NCAA tournament, they will have to defend. They know that, and it's time to show that on Wednesday night at VCU.
Being sound defensively and getting back to our identity defensively is definitely top priority. And last couple practices this week have been really good in terms of getting us ready for that. And we'll definitely need to be at our best defensively if we want to win. So
they're really good on both ends. I mean, that's what makes them so good. You know, they're I think top 30 offense in the country and top 60 defense, and at both ends of the floor. I mean, they put a lot of pressure on you. They're really aggressive, athletic, fast.
And with the end of the regular season comes the beginning of the NFL coaching carousel. 4 teams made it official. They're looking for new leadership. Raheem Morris was let go by the Falcons. Pete Carroll is out after 1 year in Las Vegas. The Arizona Cardinals let Jonathan Gannon go after 3 seasons. And Kevin Stefanski is out in Cleveland, though speculation is he won't be unemployed for too long. We don't have to wait much longer for the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. The week has finally arrived. 5,000 will come from out of town, and our town will have an economic impact of about $10 million. These will be the athletes you will see in Italy a month later at the Olympics. Brady Tennell is one of the favorites to make the team. She is not new to the sport. At age 27, she's back at a high-level competition after taking years away from competition. She told our Corey Miller St. Louis is not new to her. Here's what she remembers from the last time St. Louis hosted the event.
I came here in 2006 to watch nationals. I think I was about 7 years old. I came with some of the other students, and we took the train down from Chicago, and we watched the women's event. And I remember I threw a stuffed animal for Alyssa Sisney.
You know, it's interesting because a lot of the figure skaters are like gymnasts that they peak at a younger age. Yeah. But to see her at age 27 still competing is absolutely amazing.
By the way, the only one of us who has an office is Frank.
That is true.
And if you guys ever want to come and visit, see my secretary. We'll book some time.
We'll see what we can do.
Where history meets the future. Tonight we are showing off one of our favorite parts of our new home, and it's not Frank's office.
Well, we've been telling you, this is our second day here at our new state-of-the-art home at the Highlands. We're located across I-64 from Forest Park at the old arena site. And while we're excited about our future here, we're also celebrating our rich 79-year history of covering St. Louis.
Today in St. Louis, anchor Michelle Lee gives you a closer look at the special tribute right outside these studio walls.
Hi everyone, Michelle Lee here. So if you come to 5 on Your Side, you're going to be in this entryway, and I want to show you something that is really a big focal point of our newsroom, and it's this wall. I'm not sure if you would call it the peacock wall or if you would just call it our picture wall, but it's got so much history living and in our past. And I want to show you some of the pictures here. I mean, of course, you can recognize Ozzie Smith, you recognize Mike Bush. We've got living legends. How about this one. I think this is really interesting because this is when KSD started, and we used to do man on the street interviews. So no newscast, just getting a pulse of what's happening in the public eye. Of course, you can see Tom Brokaw, legend, Karen Foss, Dick Ford, and a young Art Holiday. It's really neat to just see some of the years also of KSDK. So we've got a lot of history right here on the wall, not just of KSDK, but also of St. Louis. And it really is an honor and a privilege because journalism is all about writing the first draft of history. And you can see much of it right here on our wall.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. A reminder, we're always streaming on 5+.
Have a great evening.